Hello and welcome back to another video. I'm just here now filling up the water for the cattle. Wasn't empty at all, but I want to get the spreader on and probably the topper then after that as well, so I don't want to have to come back down here later on tonight to fill it up, so that'll keep them going now for the day. So yeah, today's video, more fertilizer, more topping. There seems to be some activity as well with the cows. There seems to be one of them bulling. Sorry, just turn that off. Not sure which one. I thought it was the heifer first. But now she seems to be on her own, so I don't know, is it the small red cow or what? But look, whichever one it is, and I'm hoping it is one, we'll take it. So we might have one for AI later as well. It would be handy because we need to redo their tail paint as well, so we just bring them all up, do that at the one time, and we want to dose the 2 bullocks as well, at least the 2 bullocks and maybe more. So if we could time that with 1 bulling, it'd be absolutely ideal. So we'll see how that goes. A couple of other tidy up bits I need to do, need to go cutting a bit of a tree and things like that as well. But look, I'll bring you along for as much of it as I can anyway, and we'll see what we get up to. You might be saying, didn't she say that she had spread all her fertilizer for a while? And yes, you would be right. I did say that, but I did not account for the patches that I would miss on the silage ground when I was spreading. Now, in my defense, there was no grass here, it was just bare ground. But I'm going to show you one of the biggest patches I missed, but I've got like 1 in each field. Again, I don't know what I'd be at. I really don't. The straight lines thing is just not for me. So I'm just up here now with a bit to shake on here, and I'm just going to shake the other, whatever is left then in the field that I topped there last week, just to give it something. But yeah, I hope you can see it on the camera now, because to me it's as plain as day. It's green, yellow, green. And as my dad said, just go up and shake a light bit so that it goes green, so that nobody's looking at it. So yeah, this is more for the neighbours now than for the silage. But yeah, not ideal, not ideal. But yeah, I'll give you a look there now. Ignore the wild hair, my hands are full, so I can't do anything about it. But we were right, there is a cow bulling. It's not the heifer though, it's Michelle, the jumper. So we're going to just bring them up now. We've help around, so Mom and my sister Orla are going to help out. We don't really need to, but you know what? It's rare I have help, so I'll take it when I do. They're ready to come out of there as well, which is always ideal. Nothing worse than when they come bulling after you've just put them into a fresh field of grass, because they just never want to come out. So this is ideal now. I have a reel with me so that I can put it diagonally across the field. It just gets them out easier. I'll get my sister to go inside that wire then, so that the calves don't go under it, or hopefully they won't go under it. And yeah, it's early in the day, but she'll be happy out on some nuts and hay, and we won't AI her until the morning. So I think I mentioned it in my last video, we always do them later rather than earlier, because we find that's the best result. This is an odd one now because it's kind of in the middle, but she definitely only just came in because we were watching all morning. So it's about 2 o'clock now and we saw her stand for the first time maybe 15 minutes ago. So that's why we're holding out till tomorrow, but yeah, it'd be good to get them up, dose, tail paint, all that jazz. I'm quicker than you. So we got them all up without any drama into the crush, and it was on to a little trimming just to make things easier for the tail paint. So they actually seemed to quite enjoy it. It was my first time using it, so I was a little bit nervous. Of course, Norma was more nervous than me, hence the name Nervous Norma, and she worked everyone up around her. But look, she's often been a lot worse, but the sound really put her off. Then I just did the pour on for the two boys. Now, in hindsight, I probably should have shaved their backs before putting it on. But look, I didn't think of it at the time. And when they're in there, you just kind of want to get it done. So they're two big boys. So I think I gave them about 50 mils and that should see them right anyway. And then once I had that done, it was on to applying a fresh bit of tail paint just so that I can keep an eye on any activity. And here again, the heifer wasn't a big fan of it, which is strange because usually they actually just quite like the process of me putting on the tail paint. This was Norma, and there we go. We do love Norma. Covering us in you know what, but yeah, wouldn't expect anything less from her. And as you can see, I am giving her a right telling off, but she does not care one little bit, and she keeps swishing that tail as best she can. But thankfully the others were absolutely grand. They took absolutely no notice whatsoever. I didn't clip this one's tail just because the red shows up so well on the white. She barely even needed a top up, to be honest, but I just said while I was doing the rest. And then my sister Orla decided to show ye the little bit of dung that she got on her as well, and we were back on the road with some lovely looking tails. You can see there Norma has some on the bottom of her tail somehow, but yeah, all straight back down and very lazy. I've just moved the cows into a new section. Could have left them where they were for another day and would have ordinarily, but it's always nice to give them some sort of a reward when they cooperate. So in fairness, they did. They were very well behaved. Norma was a bit of a pain in the crush, but absolutely nothing major at all. So it's nice now for them to come in here. Decent amount of grass, very happy with it. And the great thing about this is this field was never fenced until 2 years ago, I'd say. We got the whole lot of it fenced, and again we can just separate it off now, which is great. So it means the other section is growing every day in these conditions, so it's ideal really. They'll probably get a good 10 days out of here easily if not close on 2 weeks. So by the time that comes around, they'll be down to the other place again, and there should be plenty of grass there then. So it's all good. So I've come across some ragwort in here. For anyone who doesn't know what that is, and it might be called different things in different countries, I'll show you. I always pull the ragwort by the root. I don't top it, I don't cut it with anything, I don't spray it, I pull it by the root. It's the number one way of stopping them. So if ragwort goes to seed, you're wasting your time. But I don't know, again, there's something therapeutic about it. I love when I have just a big pile of them in the back of the gator. But yeah, I will always pull them and take them with me. They'll either go into the ditch, or I have a spot where I kind of dump all the stuff from the lawn and things like that. So yeah, we don't want to be getting caught out with poisoning from ragwort. So that's this job done anyway. We beat the rain kind of. I got a little bit damp there, but everyone else escaped it, so that's the main thing. So I'm going to go up now, throw the topper on and top the place that they've just come out of. I'm not going to come the whole way back because there's an awful lot of stones there. That'll be another job, maybe later on in the summer. I'll try and come down with a few people and pick them. But I'll do the first section anyway, the good section as we call it. I might show you the difference that the muck spreading has made as well. I'm actually amazed just how green it turned after it. But I'm going to pull these few ragwort. I see some more over there as well. I'm going to get these and then I'll go up and get the topper and we get going. So this is what the ragwort looks like. This is kind of the time you want to be pulling them, so it's big enough so that you can get the 2 hands on it and pull it from the root, but it hasn't flowered or seeded yet. So always wear a pair of gloves as well, because these are also toxic to humans. I think it causes kidney failure or kidney damage anyway. Sped up this because I found a little patch of them over here while I was at it. I said I'd tidy it up even though it's on the other side of the wire, but always get them when you see them because less chance of them flowering. And this was actually a fairly big section of them, so I managed to get a decent pile and just took them all with me. And now this is where the muck was spread earlier in the year, so obviously you can still see it there, and there's quite a bit of grass still around it because the cattle won't graze that. But all of this has been grazed, so you can see in patches it's gone, but obviously not where the dung is. But I'm just so pleased with how green it is. When I was spreading that muck, it wasn't green, it was brown, because it was just all moss coming up through it, really, more than anything. So it's just amazing the difference it's made. The fact now as well that we can graze it properly. So this probably hadn't been grazed by cattle in about 10 years. It was just some horses in here, and that just doesn't have the same effect. So the fact that it'll get fed down nice and close, plus the manure they're spreading from the cattle anyway, should just really start to improve this place naturally before we actually do anything with it. I'm just back down here again this morning, so I have her caught in the head gate and the gate pulled across, so Dad's just outside deciding what bull to give her, so I assume it will be a Simmental again. But yeah, this one can be a bit flighty, so she gets lots of nuts just to keep her happy because she just can't resist them. But once he's done with her, I am going to try and trim her tail. We'll see how she takes to the clippers, and yeah, we'll do her tail paint then again as well, and she'll be on her way.
don't give out to me for not wearing PPE here. I did try, but that day the weather was just so humid and damp. The mask that I was wearing was fogging up, and then I tried the goggles and that was fogging up as well. So I said it was safer to be able to see what I was doing than to be wearing something that I couldn't see through. So I used the hedge cutter first, and then I threw on the saw. We're basically just trying to cut things back here so that when the second cut is done, we can bring the bales down this way. So work in progress.
She's ready to go here now, so we just gave her a couple of hours to settle the usual, and now I'm bringing her back down. That was my first time using the clippers. In fairness to Clippers Ireland, they gave me that for free. They probably saw my struggles, but it's a great job. The sound slightly put them off at the start, even when they were in the crush yesterday. But once it's on them, they seem to love it. You know, they quieten right down once you have it on their back. So all I did for the ones yesterday was just do the tops of their tails so that the paint went on better. And then for her, I did the top, and then I also tidied up her tail. So you can see there, lovely, neat job done. So really, really happy with that, because hers was nearly trailing the ground actually. So she was in serious need of it. But yeah, she got another Simmental as well, so hopefully we will have another Simmental out of her next year. But yeah, I'm gonna get them down now. Hopefully they behave, because it's only myself and my dad, so we'll see how this goes. Now that's Michelle down here with the rest of the gang again. I'm just trying to take shelter here from the wind, but you might be wondering why I didn't show you the end result of the topping. Well, it's because she gave up on me. Just cut out dead yesterday evening. My phone was dead at the time as well, so I didn't record it, but yeah. It didn't overheat or anything, has diesel, has oil, so my dad thinks it's just airlocked, but he can't remember how to do it, so we're just waiting on the mechanic. I was hoping he'd be here by now, just so I was about 2/3 of the way done, you know, but sure, look, that's how it goes. So just waiting on him now. Dad's thinking about towing me out with the gator, so we'll see how that goes. It'll be iffy enough there at the gap, it's just wet and tight enough and stuff, so we'll see. But it would be ideal now if he came. I don't want to have to take the topper off here either, because I know it's going to be a pain to try and get it on, because I'm on a bend, or a turn I suppose, so it's just not going to line up right when I come back or anything. So not ideal, but look, 'tis rare it lets me down, so I'll let you know the verdict anyway. Now I just want to show you this section before I finish up. So this is what it looks like topped now. This is the area where it got all the dung and the heavy layer of it. And look, that's all grass. There was never grass there before. It was all just mossy deadness, really. But that's amazing. They are proper grass leaves. Of course, a bit of rush as well, but you're always going to get that down here. But delighted with that now. Really, really happy. So much grass coming there. It's brilliant. Now it's fierce windy out there again, so I said I'd hop back into the tractor, try and block some of it, but done. In fairness now, the mechanic came down and had a look at it, and look, he knew straight away what to do, so it was great. There's a lot to be said for knowing a fella that'll come down here on a Sunday evening like that, you know, and not a bother to him. You know, he said go on away now and do a bit, and he'd wait, and sure, he just stayed there chatting to Dad. Not a bother to him, so Yeah, it's great. We've known him for years. He just lives back the road. I don't know what we're going to do when all these fellas retire, him and the AI guy and all that. We'll have to be finding new fellas, but yeah, it was great now. So it was just airlocked, and I got a little mechanic training there. Is that what you call it? I don't know. But yeah, I'll know what to do in future now if it's like that. But do you know, even if I was watching a YouTube video on how to do that, I would have stopped before the point of where it kicked in, because it was turning over and turning over, and I was, if he wasn't here, there's no way I would have kept going. I would have said, no, we need to call someone. So good to know anyway, good to see it. And yeah, Dad asked him a couple of other bits. Oh yeah, if there's a blockage, because he could remember how to do it, but he just couldn't remember where the bit was. So he showed Dad that as well. So at least now if we have a few bits, we might know what to do ourselves, because I've no clue about machinery, and Dad wouldn't have much knowledge on it either. I suppose we only have the 135, that's why. But delighted to get that done anyway. Amazing the difference it makes in here. Jesus, it's like a different field. But that's it now for today. I think I'm going to leave this video here. Had a productive weekend, in fairness. Would have been more productive now, alright, if this hadn't given up yesterday evening. But you know what, sometimes it's no harm to be forced to sit down for a couple of hours on your day off. So yeah, still haven't the shed power wash, but you know what, the fact that the cow was in there for AI now yesterday has kind of solidified the fact that I'm absolutely wasting my time doing the passageway and the pen. So I might as well give it another 4 or 6 weeks and do that then, but I'll be doing these other bits in the meantime. This girl is going for a service probably in the next few days or the next week, but she shouldn't be gone too long, because it got the works there at the end of last year, so it should just be a quick service. And once it's back, then I'll clean it and do the attachments as well. I suppose I could be doing the gaiter while it's away, actually, now that I think of it. But anyway, that is it for this video. So thanks again for watching. If you liked it, give me a like, and if you haven't already done so, please subscribe. Thank you.